Welcome everyone, Kyle here, and we're back again. It's Saturday, and we all know what that means by now. It's been a lot of weeks of these Saturdays. It's weekly purchases, the time of the week where we find out what came via DHL, Amazon, the Postal Service, FedEx, my grandma, my wife, and the mailman, and everybody in between. It's weekly purchases where we take a look at everything that came through the door, and then also what figures were announced this week. So another very busy week of weekly purchases, and another very busy week of news. Friday was News Central, if you were in Hasbro, and we'll get to all that here shortly, but hopefully you guys were checking out the channel during the week. Friday, my figure hunting video this week. A little bit of a quiet time, quiet before the storm in the figure hunting the last couple of weeks, but really cool to see that Decade of Domination out there. I like hunting that stuff even though I found it. And check your stores, guys. This time of year, you got to really wander around the toy section. Don't be scared to go into that garden center. Don't be scared to go down the guns and ammo and the exercise equipment, because they got stuff hanging everywhere. I don't care if we're talking Walmart or Target. I found a Star Wars display at Target the other day that was over in the Fisher-Price stuff. So you got to really look around right now. And perfect example is that figure hunting video. That Decade of Domination palette was basically outside at a big Walmart I go to. I went by outside the toys, went into the garden center, through the opening doors. Then there was another set of doors. And inside there, it's almost the outside non-climate controlled area. And they had toys everywhere out there. And there was that Decade of Domination facing backwards, hidden in the back corner of the store. Just unbelievable. So really be checking, as that stuff, they're trying to find home for all that stuff, and they'll stick it wherever just to get it out of the floor and out into the back room. So make sure you check that out. So check out that figure hunting video. Obviously, we had Jack's videos this week. Tuesday, we had the Classic Superstars deep dive like we do every single Tuesday. We also had some Jack's Ruthless Aggression unboxings. I'm knocking out a lot of extra videos this week. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the bonus videos all week of some unboxings. I've got so many things backed up, I figure I'll start throwing bonus videos out left and right, as the end goal of this madness is to get all that stuff unboxed and on display. So when I do a display video here in the next couple of months, everything's out. We have everything out and ready to go, and have everything in that display video. I think that's what we'd all want to see. So trying to pick up the pace a little bit, getting some extra videos. I'll have a bunch of extra videos in the can that'll probably take us down the road. Hopefully I'm going to get some days off from work soon. I'm supposed to have every Friday off the rest of the year. I'm not going to hold my breath on that one, but I'll be able to get some extra videos done in that time and keep some of those in the can for a rainy day. You never know what might happen. Maybe I'll go on vacation one week and I can have all those things for my vacation week. Probably not, but we'll see. But a lot of good videos on the channel. If you haven't subscribed by now, what are you waiting for? So easy to hit that subscriber button. You definitely want to do that, as we'll have giveaways here fairly soon. I got a stockpile of stuff to give away. We're closing in on 3,000 subscribers. So, tell a friend, tell your family, tell everybody, get them subscribed. Share the page out there. Do what you can. I know a lot of you guys are very loyal supporters, and I appreciate each and every one of you guys. So make sure you're subscribed to the page. So there you go. And then don't forget to follow me while you're at it. Follow me on Twitter at SirPaul64, Instagram _Kyle_Peterson. Like I said, on Instagram. A lot of news on there, a lot of sites. Whenever I come across some really hot deals on Amazon and stuff, I'll throw up a link there for you guys. There's been some hot things on Amazon the last few weeks, and you're going to see some of that in today's weekly purchases. So make sure you're on the social media, subscribe to me there. But let's get down to it. Let's get down to some news. First off, I wanted to talk AEW figures. It seems like every week there's a different riot about these figures. Can't find them, the distribution, where's Series 2, all this kind of stuff. Well, Series 2 finally started shipping via Ringside this week. I have not got mine yet. Hopefully I get mine here in the next couple of weeks. I guess they're going to fulfill the orders as they came in. They're trickling into the warehouse, not like pallets like they normally would, apparently. Hopefully some of you guys maybe saw in the Major Wrestling Figure Podcast, they have a Twitch channel now. They had a little interview discussion with Jeremy, and Jeremy was pretty candid as he can be. And I understand, you got to take a step back. He's not going to sit there and throw, factories under the bus and stuff like that. That's just really not good business. Plus, you don't want competition knowing kind of what's going on in your business. I'm sure they have ears out there and stuff at the Mattels of the world and knowing that kind of stuff. But it sounds like they've had some factory issues with these AEW figures. That's been a lot of the problem. Switching factories and trying to get on the same page with those factories. And supposedly things are going to be better. Come Wave 3, we'll see improvements. Hopefully that's the case, but that's kind of the way it made it sound in that interview. I think they have a lot of big plans. I just don't know. They didn't say anything about it, and they're not going to say. Jeremy's not going to say, but I got to feel like some of the retail partnerships at Walmart's have been hurt. I'd say it all the time. Dealing with Walmart for 15 plus years on the same kind of thing as Jeremy and those guys do. There is no way they're okay with empty shelves for months at a time. They could have some other product there, turning and burning product, making money. Empty shelves make you nothing. All it does is give you disappointment and lack of sales. So Walmart can't be happy with that. I'm thinking if Jazzware wants to stay with that amount of space, they're probably having to open up their wallet to pay for space like that, or they're just losing the space. It'll be really interesting to see what happens on the next round of planograms. Usually right after Christmas, I think, is the next time we'll see an update. AEW might be off the shelves. They might be cut down to 1 or 2 pegs instead of the 3 or 4. It'd be very interesting to see how that comes out. If they did stay in the 3 or 4, my gut tells me they opened up their checkbook or gave them some kind of a sweetheart of a deal to keep that space. Or they tied in some of their other brands, like the Fortnite figures and some of the other figures they have out there. Use the power of those brands to get shelving for those. I could see that happening as well. I'm not a businessman. I just play one on weekly purchases every week. But a lot of firsthand knowledge of myself working with Walmart back in the day. Luckily, I don't have to work with Walmart right now. Hopefully that doesn't change. But always trying times working with those big box retailers out there. So that's a little bit of that AEW update. Jeremy also made mention about people were upset about the Chase figures, and I totally get that. I know there's a lot of people angry at him. He said it sounds like they're going to be bigger volumes going forward with Series 3, so I wouldn't be shocked if it's like the 1 of 500 turns into 1 of 1,000 or 1 of 1,500. The 1 of 1,000 turns into maybe 1 of 2,000 or 2,500. I could see that possibly happening. I do think they'll still do a couple of 1/100s at the toy fairs and stuff like that maybe throughout the years, but they did say changes are coming there, so that should make a lot of people happy. But one thing I think I have a little bit of an opinion on that some of you guys may be wondering, and I've seen a lot of questions about it on social media, but I think I have it figured out, just putting my business hat on once again. Why are the Carolinas getting smoked with all these 1 of 1,000 Jerichos? Why are they all going to North Carolina area? And I think there's it's as simple as this. Walmart gets pallets of product from Jazzware's AEW to distribution warehouses, and then they fly, say they go to the Bentonville, big warehouse in Bentonville, and then it spider webs out throughout the country is where the logistics go. Jazzware's made a crucial mistake as far as I see it, and I've seen this with other products too, and this usually has to do with food industry rotation issues and stuff like that. When they put those pallets together, they did not mix those Jericho cases up. What it is there's, let's say there's 1,000 cases of Jerichos or whatever it is, 300 cases of Jericho once. There's a Jericho in each one of those cases. They put those all on the same pallet. Well, it gets to the Walmart distribution center. They don't know anything about these chases or anything, and they don't even know what's inside these. They just know, hey, AEW figures are in here. But here's a pallet of Jerichos. Okay, Charlotte, North Carolina distribution center. They're supposed to get 300 pallets of the AEW figures, or 300 cases. Well, here it goes. Those 300 cases go there. It's the whole Jericho pallet. It's all the Jericho figures. All the cases with those. They should have mixed those cases throughout the, 7,000 pallets they had. Instead, it was all on one pallet together. North Carolina, you guys were the lucky ones that got the luck of the draw. Those cases all went your way. And that's as simple as it happened. I guarantee that's what happened. People don't care like we do about that. They just want the product A to B. They don't care what's inside it. I always say it, an AEW figure is no different, or a Mattel figure, it's no different to a store, a distribution center than a pillowcase, or that shampoo, or toothpaste, or candy. It's all the same. It's A to B stuff. And that's what happened. I'm fairly certain that's the way it went. Carolinas, you're very lucky. You got a lot. You see people online finding 2 Chase figures, just absolutely crazy. That means, let's say, the Pacific Northwest, the Midwest, you're going to get few to any of those 1 of 1,000. So that's a huge debacle, a huge mistake, a huge mess up. But that's the way I see it with those AEW figures and the chases. Really interesting, we're not seeing many Codys. I mean, there's only 500 of them. Not sure how many Ringside got of those and other people got. So obviously you're not going to see as many of those. But maybe those were mixed in, or maybe those are all sitting in a pallet together, very similar to the Jerichos, that's my guess. And they're on their way to, let's say, the California. And it's going to be the same thing with people finding all these Codys in one pocket if the cases weren't mixed in. So hopefully a lesson is learned on that one. That could be a huge disaster going forward if they don't fix that, because you're going to see the same thing repeatedly. So that's the answer. I'm sticking to it. I'm fairly certain I'm correct. I haven't seen anybody really talk about that from the whole end of the business and how that operates in those warehouses. So there you go. And finally, the last bit of news this week with AEW. Ringside Collectibles surprise drop on Friday. Bloody 2-pack. Cody, Dustin Rhodes basically repaints the same figures with blood on them for the most part in a cool blood splatter packaging. I believe Jax did this with UFC figures back in the day. We all know about the 1 of 100 Terry Funk that came bloody, so there's some history of that with Jax, but a very cool 2-pack. $50 on Ringside. I guarantee that thing will be sold out within a week, so if you want that, jump on that thing ASAP, as that could be a pretty good collector's item and a pretty cool piece. I'm definitely getting one. I kind of want to get two, but we'll see what happens with that. So there's a little bit of an AEW update for this week. Just really interesting times with that whole line. It'll be really interesting to see what 2021 holds for AEW and Jazzwares. All right, this week we also got some G.I. Joe statue news. Hopefully you guys checked out my Cobra Commander unboxing, I don't know, 2 weeks ago now. It was a sweet Cobra Commander statue based on the G.I. Joe cartoon series. Well, officially up for pre-order for early next year, I think March time frame. Big Bad Toy Store is who I saw it from. $50 price point, a little steep. But Baroness, Destro getting better, but then Serpentor. So we saw those three. It's going to be an all-villain wave, apparently. But that's Serpentor. Oh, boy, I think I need that. I need Cobra Commander, Serpentor, and at least Flint, whenever they come out with Flint. Those three, I think, I'm not going to get all of them. Told you how I'm skipping on Storm Shadow and Snake Eyes, unless they're really clearanced out at GameStop. But I definitely got to get that Serpentor and probably that Destro. I don't know. We'll see. But definitely Flint, Serpentor, Cobra Commander. Got to have those three. But these statues are really cool, especially if you like the 80s incarnation of these characters. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Then we saw some interesting thing from Star Wars this week. Star Wars releases are all over the place, it seems like. We saw pictures of, I believe, a Target exclusive. It's a Stormtrooper kind of dusted up from The Mandalorian. That's going to be an exclusive. You know, Star Wars is the greatest at this. Like, good for them. Apparently it's a working thing, but it's the same figures over and over, but just little changes. It's different colors, getting the most out of those body molds and getting the most out of the money from our wallet. So good for them. So we got that. Hopefully you guys pre-order that at Target. I don't really pre-order any of that stuff because I usually find it in the stores before, and we all know the wrestling fiasco we go through with pre-orders at Target and Walmart. It's just not even worth it half the time. I'll find it at the store. But then we also saw Fan First Friday yesterday with Hasbro online. They did Transformers, Ghostbusters. No skin in the game on that for me. Nothing that popped my interest. They also did Star Wars, and they showed 3 new the Clone Wars saga, I guess, figures. I am not as familiar with the Clone Wars. I watched it way, way back. I didn't watch all of them. It's on my to-do list. I need to finish the Clone Wars cartoons, the Rebels cartoons. I just got to somehow find time in my life to knock these all out. But one of these days. But the figures look really cool. I've never heard of any of the characters, so it's all new to me. But they all look, like I said, really cool. They did show some vintage stuff, 3 3/4, but I don't talk about that. I don't collect that. Sometimes I wish I did instead of the 6-inch. It would take up a lot less room. And I think it'd be really cool. You could have a pretty massive world with vehicles and stuff like that. But I'm in on the 6-inch, and I keep saying to myself, I need to buy the Star Wars characters I know about. I don't know about these characters, but they're so cool. They look awesome. I know I'll see them. I'll get caught up in it all, and I'll end up picking it up. But I really got to watch the Clone Wars and Star Wars Rebels. I think in that order, I believe. So they announced that. But then the huge Hasbro announcements are the ones I'm most excited for. You know, Marvel Legends is becoming my favorite toy line. Usually it's traditionally wrestling. I do love wrestling. But, you know, the craziness that goes into AEW and Mattel and distribution issues and stuff, it's such a nice a breath of fresh air with Marvel Legends that you can find them. I mean, there's hard figures, but you'll find them. If you go to enough stores, you'll find them. You can't say that about wrestling, unfortunately. Wrestling, I think it frustrates so many people, they just want to quit collecting. And that's not what Mattel and Jazzwares wants. Marvel Legends, you do your due diligence. Worst case scenario, pull it off Amazon. You can find them. They hold their value. They're worth a lot more down the line. But that's a year down the line. You can find these figures, and that's what I really love about Marvel Legends. And this other thing I love about them is surprises. So outside of this Fan First Friday Hasbro thing, yesterday, all over the internet, people started popping up finding the Negative Zone Spider-Man in the retro card at Target. This was hinted at, but never officially announced via the Marvel Legends team. How awesome is that? You walk into a store and see a figure you didn't even know exist. How cool would that be? That's what's missing in today's figure game, if you ask me. Think back to when you were a kid, like I did. You would show up to a store and there's a whole new wave of figures you didn't even know was coming. You didn't know anything about it. The excitement of that, grabbing that figure off the peg, flipping it around, saying, okay, who else is in the set? Those were such exciting times for little Kyle and probably little viewer out there. I remember the Hasbro wrestling figures. All of a sudden these showing up. Oh my gosh, who else is in that set? G.I. Joe, Transformers, you name it. It was so cool back then. And that's what that gives me. When you find a surprise figure, Marvel Legends keeps things tight-lipped, unannounced, nobody knows about them, to get all the way from China being made, over the sea, to the distribution centers, out to the stores, and all be a secret. That is really cool. I wish there was more of that. I think maybe some people wouldn't like it, but I would actually love it. I would love just to go to the store and have no idea what I'm hunting for, what's going to be there. I know BrickSeeks, Pop Finders of the world make a lot of things easier. We do love them, but take a step back. How fun would it be to go to a store and just see something you didn't even know existed or know it was coming out? And that's what this is. So I hope to have that next week. One of our loyal viewers out there hit me up and is sending me one over, so we'll talk about that a little bit more next week. But the Fame First Friday continued, like I said. They officially announced that Stiltman set that we heard at Hasbro Con back in, gosh, what was that, October? A really awesome set. They officially announced the Prowler figure, and they officially announced the Frogman figure. I don't remember Frogman at all. He's a deep, deep dive character in the Spider-Man Daredevil universe, but holy cow, is that figure something special. I love goofy figures like this. This figure looks absolutely amazing. Must have. Could be the figure of the year next year. We'll see. I love the eyes inside the mouth, or it's kind of the shadowy eyes of the guy. Just an awesome figure. It's the end of the Spider-Verse wave, of course, with the Stiltman, who could be the biggest Build-A-Figure of all time, depending how big you want to make them. As of right now, I'm thinking about getting 2, possibly 3 ninjas to make taller Stiltman legs. We'll see what comes of that, but I thought that was really, really awesome. I thought that was something really cool. That Frogman, using a Doc Ock body, but you would never guess it unless they said it to you. I mean, you would, but you wouldn't. So very cool. Got to get that Marvel Legends set. There's no way around it. They announced an AIM Trooper on the Hasbro Army Builder. I don't think I need any of those. I got quite a few of those already. So that's kind of a pass for me. They did hint at Bring on the Bad Guys Wave. The Build-A-Figure could possibly be MODOK. I really like the idea of that because I don't have the old school MODOK, and I've almost pulled the trigger so many times. I keep hoping for a new one. I think we're finally going to get it. So if you're looking at buying a MODOK, hold off because you're going to be able to get one a heck of a lot cheaper if he ends up being the Build-A-Figure in this wave. We also saw the House of M from Marvel. They, we already knew all those, but they're going to be able to make the main core group of there. I thought those figures looked all right. Not familiar with that set. The Wolverine, looks like the brown suit Wolverine we've seen in the past. I guess it's going to use the X-Force Wolverine body if you guys are familiar with that. But a cool set nonetheless. I'll definitely be getting it. It'll be interesting to see who the Build-A-Figure is in that set. So a lot from Marvel, and then finally they showed the in-packaging images of the Thanos they showed back at that Hasbro PulseCon in October. I wasn't so sure about this one, but now seeing it in the package with the Infinity War logo on there, oh, that hit me in all the feels. As a little kid, I really remember driving my bicycle down to the comic book shop and picking up the Infinity Gauntlet saga. I absolutely love that saga. So very cool packaging on this Thanos. Even the backing, we always talk about the backing card you can pull out. You can use it as a diorama. This one especially because it's his throne behind there. So you can look like he's standing in front of his throne. Or, hey, get your own built-a throne. You can find a 3D printer out there, and there's going to be people doing that, I guarantee. Comes with the King Thanos head as an alternate head, which is cool. I'm not familiar with that comic book storyline. But it really looks really cool, and I guess it was from about 2018 in the comics. Well past my comic reading prime. But that figure jumped up a lot of notches. I wasn't going to pass on it, but it wasn't really exciting me. But seeing it in hand, seeing the package on the screen, holy cow, I'm all in. So I got to pick that guy up. So a lot going on with the Marvel Legends team. A lot going on in figures. And it's funny how there was really no news until Friday of this week. And that's just the way it goes from time to time. So there you go. Album of the week. Let's jump into the album of the week right now. Motorhead, Ace of Spades. You guys know Lemmy, Motorhead, my favorite band of all time. November 8th, 1980, 40 years that album came out. New box set out, new CD. I'm still waiting for mine, and the order got delayed via Amazon. But a big box set, all kinds of extra live stuff, studio outtakes, instrumentals, you name it. Everybody knows the song, The Ace of Spades. Not my favorite Motorhead album, to be honest. I don't know any real die-hard Motorhead fans that have, the 40-plus albums in their collection that would say, oh yeah, Ace of Spades is my favorite. We get it, we love it, we hear it at every single Motorhead show, but you get deeper into the catalog when you're a super true fan. You don't listen to... I could never hear Ace of Spades again and be okay. There's so much better stuff out there. But obviously that's the one that brought Motorhead to the dance and made them who they are today. The greatest heavy metal band of all time, even though Lemmy'd say they aren't heavy metal. But definitely pick up the Ace of Spades. If you don't own that, I mean, what are you doing? You got to at least own the Ace of Spades. But there's so much better out there. We'll deep dive into that one day maybe. But there you go. There is the album of the week. A lot of news this week. You guys let me know what you guys think about some of this news and what you're going to pick up. But let's get to the back half of the show. Let's get to the weekly purchases. We got a lot going on, so we got to get to it. All right, guys, let's get down to the weekly purchases, but I almost forgot one thing. Big Bad Toy Store announced this week Thundercats, Mum-Ra, glow-in-the-dark exclusive, shipping in January, $50 price point. A simple repaint of the one we got just recently. Kind of a surprise that far out, just a couple months away from shipping, but if you guys are into Thundercats, I want to be a completist with this line. I don't know about this one, though. $50 for just a glow-in-the-dark, same figure. I'll probably end up pulling the trigger on it. I got to take a little closer look, but I forgot to mention that back there at the beginning of the show. But let's get into the weekly purchases. Let's talk about it. A lot of stuff through the door this week. A lot of specials, a lot of sales, a lot of pickups, a lot of stuff going on. Unfortunately, my Grail item did not come. Typical post office FedEx. I've had issue after issue. As of late, I really didn't have a lot of problem during the height of COVID. It just seems all of a sudden now, the last few weeks, I've had 2 items totally lost. I had one big one that was supposed to come for Halloween that would have been a perfect Halloween video for weekly purchases. Lost in the mail, got sent back. I actually got it this week, so we'll talk about that when that comes in. But I guess that Grail purchase will have to wait till next week. It's probably for the best, because this week's a full week of purchases. I don't know if we got time to talk about that one on top of all this, so... we'll see. Let's jump into it. Let's just start. Let's start it off. I'm going to start with the man. We just talked Motorhead. Well, there it is. Motorhead Lemmy, the reaction figures from Super 7. This is all I'm buying of these reaction figures. I don't really care for them. We've talked before, but I absolutely love Motorhead. I will buy all the Motorhead-related, Lemmy-related figures Super 7 comes out. I just hope. We're getting a King Diamond Ultimate Edition. Let's get that Lemmy Killmeister Ultimate Edition. So... first thing through the door, the Lemmy reaction figure. Had to get that to keep my collection going. You know how that goes. How about a black display stand? You guys know I'm working on my displays. Ringside Collectibles, $3.99 on their display stands. Great price. This is the time of year I load up on them. So future purchases I got, I'm going to order a heck of a lot more. I just must have thrown one in my cart this week. I don't know. So there you go. See you later. Speaking of Ringside, I did this week Elite 81 through the door. There's The Rock. Got Mae Young, the Chase Edition. You guys know Mae. Got Rock, Mae Young, Bianca Belair. Got the Street Profits, of course. Got to have them. And then you got Stone Cold. I keep wanting to say Stone Cold. Stunning Steve Austin. It's funny because I like Stunning Steve more than Stone Cold. But you got Stunning Steve. You got Shinsuke Nakamura. Got to get the one in black, which I believe the black is the Chase. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm fairly certain that's the case. But got Elite 81, so unboxing video coming soon, coming maybe on the same day as weekly purchases drop. We'll see if I can get that done. Hopefully I can. We'll see. Busy man, you guys know me. Let's see, what else do we get? Marvel Select, you guys know I'm going down a deep road with that Marvel Select. Another one, $20, Thor. Not sure if I really needed this one, but it was a flash deal, went down in price on Amazon. I always say, if you're ever wanting to buy figures or anything on Amazon, put it in your cart, let it sit for a day. It fluctuates in price. Maybe wait a little longer, maybe it'll go down, maybe it'll go more up. I don't know. You guys got to play that game. But this went down to $20, so I was very, very pleased with that. Speaking of Marvel Selects, shopdisney.com. Disney store online, I guess. I've never ordered from them before, but I did this week because they have Carnage exclusive. You guys know I've talked about it before in the past. I love the Carnage Saga. That was my prime comic book reading years. I played the old Super Carnage game on Super Nintendo. So I picked up this bad boy Carnage, and I also picked up Venom for the heck of it since it was there. And by buying both, I believe I got free shipping. So Carnage, Venom, Marvel Select. I'm not sold on this Venom. I'll unbox it. We'll have to see. I love his head fell out of the box, too. You hate it when it's not perfect in there for you, I guess. But I'll unbox these. I'm not sure about this Venom. This Carnage looks pretty cool, but we'll get to that. That'll be another future unboxing video here in the next week or two. We'll see. So some more Marvel Selects through the door. Oh, yeah. Got one more from the shop Disney. I've never gotten a Star Wars Marvel Select, Diamond Select Star Wars. However, Boba Fett, I had to get him. This is a brand new line. This and Darth Maul, I believe, are the first two they've released. Boba Fett looked pretty cool. I figured out, heck, why not? Might as well get it. So that's what I did. I picked up Boba Fett, one of the classic Star Wars characters. So picked that up this week. Also, you guys know I'm working on displays. I talked about those display ring stands. I happened to be at Walmart on my figure hunts, and I went by the Christmas aisle with my wife, checking out Christmas stuff, and they had these little roll-out grass. It's basically like grass you roll out for little miniatures for Christmas and stuff. And I said, you know what? I could probably use grass in one of my Marvel Legends displays or something like that. They're only, I think, $2, $2.97 each. Look for them in your, by the holiday ornaments and all that kind of stuff. Figured, you know what? I'm going to get some grass. I'll find a home for it. If not, it's only a couple bucks. I'm out. See you later. See you later. So I picked up some grass. And while I was there, too, I did pick up some trees. I think there's $7.98 for, how many trees are in here? 16 pieces of tree, and it also comes with some snow on the bottom. I thought for my Alpha Flight setup, I might possibly use this. Look like it's in the winters of Canada. So another Walmart pickup this week. So be on the lookout for your Walmart holiday decorations. You never know what you might find to help you with your displays you're working on. And speaking of that Marvel Legends displays, the next couple of weeks, we're going to be cooking with gas because I got a huge thing. Been working very closely with that backdrop guy on Instagram. Follow him if you haven't. Him and I have been messaging back and forth, which seems about 100 times a day for the last few weeks. The biggest project he's ever been a part of, probably the biggest project I've ever been a part of. I think we're going to take this display of my Marvel Legends to the next level. Turtles, next level. It could be the greatest display of all time. Have I talked it up enough? I don't know. Have I? But you're going to see it all here before you know it. Maybe after Christmas sometime. We'll get it all figured out. We'll get the camera crew over here. We'll do it similar to the last video. But I keep talking it up every week. I keep dangling that carrot. Don't forget to subscribe. You don't want to miss a thing. You know, I think that's what I'm supposed to say. So I did. But much more to come on these displays. But I'm really liking the process. Heck of a lot of work. You know, last weekend I spent 3 days working on my display, and I felt like I didn't do anything. I moved some things around. Had to adjust some of these Mattels. Some of you eagle-eye viewers out there have noticed some changes already. A few things have been moved around. Next week's video, you might see a little different mix. Just adjusting, you know, as you add detolfs, you get more room, you spread out, all that fun stuff. So lots more to come to the channel as far as that. How about a little loosey porters? Let's take a break. We'll do some loose figures. What did I get this week? You guys, I've been talking about it. I've been cleaning up some of these older Build-A-Figures I slept on back in the day. I've been looking for the best deal, doing some bundling, doing some stuff like that. I got the Mandroid, the Shield armored kind of robot Build-A-Figure from back in the day. Got this in this week. Also got the original Build-A-Figure of Hobgoblin. Really not super familiar with this incarnation of the Hobgoblin. I've been reading a little bit about him, so it's a little different version than the traditional one I grew up on and knew about. But got this Build-A-Figure as well. And then got one that I said I was never going to get. And then I was at a toy store. I saw it for $7.99. I said, you know what? I'm pulling the trigger. That's not very much money. It's going to be a placeholder temporarily. So I got the old school Toy Biz edition of Cyclops. Giant size X-Men #1. Kind of Cyclops era there. X-Factor #1, you know. I needed this one. I really wanted to get the one with the 2-pack with Jean Grey. That thing is so expensive. I'm hoping they re-release that. I know some of you guys that have that pack are not hoping that, but I hope that happens. So I did pick up that Cyclops. It'll be a good stand-in filler temporarily until that regular set gets released. So there you go. A couple loosey ones. I would kind of call this one the hot garbage of the week, but it's more my fault it's the hot garbage of the week. I got the How's Your Lips Rock. On a Facebook group, somebody had this for sale. $5 plus, you know, $4 shipping, whatever it was. I said, oh, wait, I need that one. And I didn't need this one. I thought I did. I need the other one with the t-shirt. Now I'm forgetting. I'm drawing a blank of what it says. It's, I forget. I don't know. There's another one just like this, and he's got a saying on his shirt, and that's the one I actually needed. I got caught up in the madness wanting to get it right away, and that's what happened. So I'll have to do something with that one. But as far as Jack's Ruthless Aggression, one of the ones that's been on my long list. I've been looking for this one for over a year. It doesn't get a lot of publicity. There's not a lot of people that talk about this one, but it's a really neat one. If you guys know that Superstar Billy Graham classic Superstars figure that's in black and white, there's only one other figure Jack's released in black and white, and that is The Undertaker. And this was only released in Canada. So it's pretty hard to get. You don't see it come up very often. And when you do see it come up, people want astronomical prices, like $1,000 for it on card. Found this at a great deal from Canada. Mint condition, like it just came off the card. So I'm happy to have this one. Talk about playing the long game. I've been after this one for well over a year. Happy to have this off. A really cool, neat one. That is for sure. That you just don't see around every day. And a lot of people probably don't even know that one exists. So very cool there. I did get the Major Wrestling Figure Podcast, the last live show, little lanyard and pin. I got one of these this week, so I was happy to get that. And then I also got my card. So let's see. We know it's a Stang card, but did I get the special one? Or did I just get the regular one? You know, we do this once a month. We try to find out, get to the bottom of it. What's going on here? See you later. And I did. I got the special edition variant card. So, hey, good for me. That's two. That's two in however many months they've been doing it. So I got the Stang card. So very cool. Happy to get that one. GameStop, if you guys have been paying attention to my social media, hopefully you are, SirPaul64 on Twitter. I posted this up. GameStop had a huge sale, and I got this Stan Lee figure. I already have one. I said, hey, I'm going to keep it in the box. That Stan Lee. It looks really cool. It's a great box. But then they had a flash sale. I can't even remember what this was. It was under 20 bucks. I said, you know what? I'm getting another one to open. I'll have him somewhere in my Marvel Legends. Kind of like he just made a surprise appearance in the movies. That is what I'm going to do with this. I'll just have him kind of a surprise somewhere in my collection at all times. So Stan Lee, kind of a hard one. You don't see this one pop up much. It's a fan channel exclusive, but I know some Targets got it. Very, very strange. So, alright, and speaking of GameStop, I picked this one up this week. So I've been playing the really long game on this, and a little history here. These were all $50 a piece. As you guys know, there was a bunch of Turtle DC crossover 2-packs, GameStop exclusive. Back around 4th of July, I think it was, they all went down to clearance, 11 bucks. I cleaned up, got all of them. This one was still 50, and I said, you know what, I don't need this one. I just wanted the Turtles, is really all I really wanted. But part of me in the back of my mind said, you know, you gotta complete that set. This is the only one you're missing. Well, all the local GameStops have been out of this one. I called up local friend Waylon Jennings. I said, hey, Waylon, does that Ames GameStop have these? He told me they did, and I said, you know what, I got to make a trip up there. I'll pick it up. So that's what I did. I didn't really want this one, but now that I look at it. I like the Shredder a whole lot. I still got to unbox these. They've been sitting in on my shelving ready to go. Maybe an unboxing video here in the next few weeks. But I got the whole set now. So that's cool, I guess. Like I said, I got it for, what was it? It was $27.97, so not quite $11, but I had to clean it off, got it out of clearance. These are getting harder to find. You don't see them, so there it is. I picked it up. However, I was very happy. So when I bought this, it rang up at GameStop, and they said, hey, you get a free figure with this. They have a promotion going on. Buy 5 figures, get 1 free. Apparently, this was the 5th figure I'd bought over a certain amount of time. They said, you get to pick 1 figure out of our store for free that's $22.99 and below. Of course, I look through the Star Wars, I look through the Marvel Legends, I look at the Power Rangers, I looked at everything they had in there. I have every figure in that GameStop. I said, I have everything here, except one. There was one figure I did not have. I didn't really want it, but I just didn't want my free figure to go to waste. I should have asked him, I never even thought about it till later. Could I have carried that figure over and got it from a different store? I guess I didn't think that. I thought I had to buy one right then and there. So I bought the only figure, literally the only figure in that place that I did not have, and that was Kanan Jarrus, Star Wars Rebels. So I have all the other ones except for this guy. I passed on this. There wasn't enough meat on the bone. As you guys know, this is a repaint, kind of re-release. I already had the old one. But for free, I guess, hey, it's all right. So I picked it up. I'll sell my old one because I'm sure that's lesser quality. I'll do another unboxing video on these, and I'll compare that old one as well. So we'll see. I don't know. But for free, hey, you can't say it was not the right price, I guess. So there you go. Kanan Jarrus for free. GameStop Adventures. And actually, the GameStop adventures continue as I went to GameStop, it would have been last Saturday, so a week ago today. They had the Force Friday, Saturday sale or something. It was like 20% off all Star Wars toys. Walked in, they had Cad Bane sitting there, and then they had the Incinerator Trooper just chilling on the pegs, which you don't see at GameStop. I feel most of the time now new figures at GameStop are pre-ordered. Everybody pre-orders, and they don't get a whole lot of stock. And the stock they do get is people that didn't pick up their pre-orders. I don't know what the case was, but I was happy to get both of these cheaper than Target and Walmart. I consider that a win. So I got these two. I'm just missing the Armorer, and Armorer went up on Amazon this week for retail price. It's going to ship in about 2 weeks, so if I don't get it, I'll get it from Amazon at least. So I'll be almost complete with that set. So good for me, hallelujah. Here we go. So let's see, what else do we got? There's so much stuff this week. It's just absolutely insane, and it runs the gamut of everything. It truly, everything I collect, I got a little piece of that this week, which is fun. That's what we like. Keep it with Star Wars, I guess. The final Star Wars thing. Guavin Enforcer. Boy, somebody's going to have to educate me on this. I don't remember this. I passed on this one back in the day because I'm not a true Star Wars completist. Didn't need this. Didn't know who this was. $14.99, but then there was a 30% discount on this one, so I got it for like $10. Cool enough figure. I said, oh, you caught me in a weak moment. I'm going to pick this up, and that's what I did. So a very old one. This is number 8 of the Black Series. I mean, they're well over 100 in the Black Series now, so this is definitely a throwback figure. But I don't remember this guy at all. So you guys tell me, you Star Wars aficionados, where should I know him from? What movie was he in? Where did I miss him? So there you go. I am an absolute maniac. I don't know what I'm doing sometimes, especially when I'm buying a Fortnite figure. How many Fortnite figures have I bought now? I think this is either 4 or 5. Something about these zany characters speaks to me. I don't know what it is. I'm going to open these up. Maybe I'll mix them with my Marvel Legends. I don't know. But I got Tomato Head this week. And he is extra saucy because it says that on the back of the package. But I picked him up this week. He'll go with Fish Stick and Beef Boss and Wild Card. And, you know, speaking of that Wild Card, I got that thing for $5 on clearance at Books A Million. I need to get a bunch more of those. I'd like to get 4 of those Wild Card. I think they'd be great suited villain, kind of like bad guys around Kingpin. So I got to find some more of those. Looking on eBay, it looks like they're all $30 each. I was hoping I could clean up and buy a bunch of them at like $10. So I need to find some more of that Fortnite wild card figure. I don't know if it's possible, but hey, I got this guy, so it's crazy. I don't know what I'm doing. It's a whole line I don't want to get involved in. I only like those kind of characters. I see other characters out there, they do absolutely nothing for me, so it's weird. I think we all have a line like that that's just weird, that we can't figure out why we're buying it, but we are. We're drawn to it. We're sucked into the void, the vortex. That's me with Fortnite. There you go. I got a book. I do read from time to time. Got this real cheap. He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. It is a complete book of like every character ever. From all the cartoons, the comic books, the mini comic books. It's basically a huge encyclopedia of the He-Man universe. Every character, every vehicle, every creature, every base, every weapon, you name it. It is all in this big, thick, heavy book. Pick this up at a great price. Playing the long game. One thing you can play the long game on better than anything else is books. You know, they're always expensive when they first came out, but if you play the long game, you wait 6 months, man, you can get some screaming deals on books. So just a little pro tip of somebody that's bought books over the years. We've got a few more things. Now, this Ultimate Warrior is not new. I have had this Unpunched Warrior in my collection, but what I didn't have was these Zolo World cases. And in full transparency, I actually bought these last week, and I forgot to show them in weekly purchases. So I guess it carries over to this week's weekly purchase. But beautiful protective cases for the He-Man, WWE, and the Masters of the Universe figures. I bought about 70 of these cases. I'm going to put every single He-Man figure in these. And speaking of He-Man figures, where is that new Scareglow? He needs to hit the stores. That's the only one I'm missing. I need 2 Scareglows, one to open and one unpunched. And then the new Masters of the WWE Universe. I need the Bray Wyatt, Seth Rollins, Jake Roberts, Fiend. That set. That thing has been non-existent in the Midwest. Hopefully that hits this week. I've been looking the last few weeks for it. Hopefully it's coming here soon. So bought a bunch of those. I'm going to work on a He-Man wall. I don't know when I'll build that wall. Got to do some more moving around and decide what I want to do, but that'll be coming soon to the display tour as well. And then I got to thank an old friend, probably the longest friend of the channel, one of the best brothers out there, always helping me out, always hooking me up, always shooting me a great message on the Instant Messenger or Instagram, Twitter, you name it. helping me out finding stuff. I think I mentioned it last week that I needed another one of these. Game change decision that I needed 3 all of a sudden. Well, he stumbled upon it, and that boy is Sambro, one of the best brothers out there, hooking me up. Found this out there somewhere in the wilds of Georgia, I believe he said. So paid him, he hooked me up, sent this my way. Now I'm complete on this. Turning my attention to Zarax and Zork. That's the next one. I got to think those are going to be hitting in the next 2 weeks, and then we can call Turtles done for 2020 and turn our attention to 2021. But thank you, good brother Sambro. Always appreciated the help. You know, it takes a village in the figure hunting world. Without the Sambros and David C. Andersons and, of course, that old outlaw Waylon Jennings. Without those people, you know, it's always good to have a partner in crime. Somebody that keeps their eye open for you. You know, Waylon, he doesn't collect most of the stuff I collect, but he helps me out. He's in the stores looking for his stuff, and vice versa. I'll help him out if I see something. So you all need to get a friend out there. All find yourself a Waylon Jennings, and you'll be all set. So almost done. A lot of stuff this week. Next week, I hope I have my Grail item. We'll see how that all shakes out. You know, post office, come through. Come on, help me out, post office. I need that item. Should be a slower week next week, so we'll do a lot of talking about that Grail item next week. But we got one last thing, and this should have been here the couple of days before Halloween. It timed up perfectly. I said, this is the perfect item for weekly purchases. And of course, lost in the mail, got sent back, lost, you name it. But it's Marvel Select once again, but the entire Marvel Select zombie set. So you got Sabretooth, you got Magneto, you got Captain America. How could you not have the old Captain? You got Spider-Man. And of course, last but not least, you got the Incredible Hulk. So you got the entire wave of Marvel Select zombies. Now, I keep breaking my rules with these Marvel Selects a little bit. I say I really want the big figures, and the figures Marvel Legends never made. Well, Marvel Select made these zombies. Marvel Legends haven't as of this point. Now that I bought these, they probably will. But I thought these were really cool display pieces. I'll put these on their own shelf. I'm not going to mix these with my Marvel Legends figures. But I thought they were really cool. Something totally different. Something you don't see every day. And these are actually pretty hard to get nowadays. But very cool. We'll do an unboxing. We'll unbox all of these. But just pretend, as I'm talking right now, it's Halloween and we're listening to weekly purchases. And this is the golden egg on the end of the weekly video. This would have been a really cool Halloween theme. But instead, 2-3 weeks later, whatever it is, they finally came, which I guess is a good thing. So there you have it. Marvel Select Zombies. A very cool set if you ask me. And this Spider-Man figure is probably the lightest packaging I've ever felt in my life. It's like the weight of a feather. It's unbelievable how light he is. But there you have it. That's weekly purchases. A lot to digest this week. The mailman's been busy over my way. Not finding a whole lot in stores, as we mentioned earlier. Hopefully this week will be a little bit better. I really look to find that Scareglow and the Masters of the WWE Universe figures. Hopefully this week I can get those off the list and then have a nice quiet holiday, because I don't think there'll be a whole lot more coming for the rest of the year. But we'll see. So that's it. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. You know, if you enjoyed it, like the video. That's what you want to do. And then, of course, like I talked about earlier, don't forget to subscribe. Why would you not subscribe? Subscribe to the channel. Tell a friend. Let's keep growing the subscription base. Let's keep sharing it online. Do whatever you want to do out there. I appreciate everybody out there that's watching. And leave me a comment. You guys let me know what you got. I like interacting with you guys, seeing what you guys picked up this week and your thoughts on some of these pickups. And some of your recommendations out there. A lot of good discussion in the comments. So if you're not a part of that, join in on the comments. There's a lot to be said and a lot to discuss. So jump in on that, and that's it. Another week of weekly purchases is totally in the book. So, you know, I'm Kyle, and the further one travels, the less one knows. I'll see you guys all real soon.